What's up, everyone? My name is Nick Dombrowski, and I'm the sports rehab specialist here at Core Sport. Here at Core Sport, we are introducing our return to sport testing. One of the main return to sport injuries that we deal with here at Core Sport is the ACL. Using our Vault technology and our Vault equipment, we are able to get real-time data on our athletes that are trying to return to sport. This data consists of quad strength, hamstring strength, hip strength, rate of force development, and a bunch of other data with our force decks as well. Today we'll be talking about the metrics that we get from our Dynamo, our Vault Dynamo equipment, as well as some of the data we get for our force decks and how we use that to safely return our athletes back to sport. One of the key factors in an athlete's return to sport is the athlete's LSI. LSI is the limb symmetry index. This shows us how closely in relation an athlete's muscle group is in strength. This shows us how closely an athlete's quad on the right side versus the left side is in strength, as well as the hamstring right and left side and vice versa. This is a great indicator to see how ready an athlete is to return to sport. We also use LSI to determine where an athlete is in terms of the recovery process. LSI is a great indicator to show us if we're ready to move on to the next step of a recovery process or if we have to stay at where we're at right now with the recovery. Using our Vault technology and equipment, we are able to get an athlete's LSI as soon as we're done testing with them. We'll typically test an athlete's quad extension and quad flexion. Extension gives us our athlete's quad strength, flexion gives us our athlete's hamstring strength. The Vault equipment does all the work for us. We tell our athletes to sit down, kick out on this device for a couple reps, pull in a couple reps, and they spit out this data for us right away. This data also includes LSI and gives us a clear understanding of where an athlete is in terms of their recovery. Another variable that our Vault equipment gives us is rate of force development. Rate of force development shows us how quickly a muscle is firing when performing these tests. So the rate of force development is something that we look at in the quadriceps and the hamstrings. Same with strength in quadriceps, same with strength in the hamstrings. This is also something that we look at with LSI as well. We want to make sure that our athletes' rate of force development in their surgical side versus their non-surgical side is close in relation. Using our athletes' rate of force development LSI as well as using their strength LSI, this shows us whether an athlete is ready or not to return to sport. Having that 90% LSI in both the quads and hamstrings, as well as the 60% front to back on the same side with the quad and hamstrings, helps us check all those boxes before an athlete comes and returns back to sport. So there you have it, folks. In this video, we went over LSI of the quadriceps, LSI of the hamstrings, why it's important, and why our athletes should be tested before they return to sport. Return to sport testing is very important, and we went over those key factors in this video.